My name is Glenn Viana, and I'm Principal Software Developer at Entrust. I'm here to go over the Red Hat OpenShift Cloud integration. Our next example is going to be an image deployment control policy that's going to be based on how many vulnerabilities an image has. So we're going to tailor the policy so we're not going to allow any images that have more than 30 low vulnerabilities, for instance. So first, let's look at our registry and see what I'm talking about. So let's go to the image registries first and look at our private registry. And you're gonna see here all the images in the registry, right? There is a vulnerabilities column here that tells how many vulnerabilities each image has, and this is based on a database. And what you can do is you can check. Let's say I have this OJW HTTPD image here, and you can click here, and it's gonna show you all the vulnerabilities, and you can even click on the number, and it's going to give you details on what the vulnerability is. So you can see here that this image has 12 low and then 57, and it has unknown here. So we see some images with some vulnerabilities here, right? And also we have some images that have no vulnerabilities whatsoever. So we're going to implement a policy that's not going to allow anything with over 30, for instance. So these guys will be blocked. If I try to deploy this guy, it will be blocked. Where if I try to deploy something that has 0, it will not be blocked. So look at CVTest has 0, and also let's look at BusyBox, also has 0. All right. So let's try to do that. So we're going to go back to our home tab here, click on Security, Trust Manifest. We're gonna click on our deployment control policy, and we're gonna modify it so we use the vulnerabilities section of the policy. So I'm here, I'm not gonna use the attribute anymore. So I went back to allowing all images from the private registry to be deployed, and anything from Tutum, and I'm gonna enable the vulnerability rule section of the private registry. So now what this is gonna do is say, okay, and here I have some numbers for high severity, for medium severity, for low severity. I'm just gonna take the defaults because it should be good enough for our example, because I think the image we're talking about has 69. So we'll see how that goes. All right, so I'm applying the vulnerability rule here with the defaults, and let's apply the rule, validate. So right now the policy is set up to allow any image from the private registry, but it's gonna look at that vulnerability threshold that we set up there in the rule, and images that do not match that are going to be denied. So I'm going to try to deploy OJW HTTPD, CVTest, and BusyBox. So BusyBox, CVTest should go through, and OJW HTTPD should be denied. So let's go back here, and here's my YAML file for the OJW HTTPD image, and I'm going to try to create that. And I should get a permission denied. And if I go back to here, and if I look at my log analysis, I have a denial here. And I'm just gonna look here, the denial, and for it was denied by a high trust security policy, and I'm just gonna look in here, and you're gonna see here that it was denied because the threshold here. So you can see here that the container image OJW with the SHA has vulnerabilities that exceed the threshold. So the policy is enforcing that vulnerability rule, not allowing any images. The image has to be less than those thresholds. So let's go and try to deploy our BusyBox. Our BusyBox YAML file. I'm going to try to deploy that. And it should go through. The BusyBox has 0 vulnerabilities. So if we go back here, and you're going to see here BusyBox with 0 vulnerability, no vulnerabilities. The same is true for our CV test image. So here's my CV test YAML file for the CV test image here, and let's try that. And it should go through. So this shows you how you can implement a policy that looks at vulnerabilities of images. That's why it's so important to have a private registry so CloudControl can look at these images and say, oh, I have XYZ vulnerabilities here, which is this case here. Look at this. Okay, so we strongly suggest you to have a private registry and use a private registry with your own to control the images, so CloudControl can analyze them and you can have an idea of how vulnerable those images are for security purposes. So this is another way you can use deployment control policy to better serve your security organization goals as it relates to Kubernetes images being deployed on your environment. Well, this is the end of our presentation. I want to thank you for watching. We have an integration guide for this presentation. It's available on our documentation site. I hope what we showed here can give you some clues of what CloudControl can do with Red Hat OpenShift and how you can use it to implement policies. Thank you again and have a great day.